Basics of it, knife. Want to choose the right knife for the right job. Obviously, you don't want to use the samurai sword for cutting a rockfish. What we usually use on the boats, the sport boats, you got your 8-inch Forstner, you got your 6-inch. 6, like to use the most. Do really good outlining as far as yellowtail, halibut, tuna go. Very versatile knife. The bigger knives, used mainly for rockfish, really good for getting one clean slab out of it. I don't use these too much, too big of a samurai sword for me. I like to use the smaller knives. As far as stones go, sharpening devices, you can always go and get your little slide it through the slider, fillet knife sharpener. It's not the way to go. Got your stone, it's actually made out of stone. They come in double-sided grit, one side smooth, one side's quartz. And then what I like to prefer to do is use your steel. This is a real nice, well, this one isn't in good shape, but they do make, Cabela's makes a really nice diamond-plated stone. Really good for getting a nice sharp edge on there. These stones, good for getting an edge on. Just get a nice edge on there. As soon as you get an edge on there, put a nice finishing edge on it with the stone. Basics of sharpening your knife to get ready for filleting. You want to sharpen it the same way you would cut the fish. Same exact strokes. Start off with 3 on each side. I like to do a flat edge on it. A lot of people put a nice hard edge. If you want a flatter edge, it'll last a little longer. Get it nice and sharp. Then I'll touch it up with the diamond stone. And you should be good to go. Alright, we'll start off with the yellowtail, the coolest fish of all. This one here, it's probably about 20-pound yellow, is caught on the 3/4 day boat, Malahini. These fish, I know they look a little hard to cut. Actually, these are probably one of the easiest fish to cut. Different ways of cutting them. You're gonna outline the fish. Pretty much outlining, you're gonna follow the backbone of the fish all the way around, flip it over, do the same thing, and then take it off the backbone and fillet it. But there's a couple different tricks that we do on some boats. The rib meat. On the rib meat on these, a lot of the boats just toss it overboard. Actually, all that bone in there, you can flip the fillet of ribs over. You can actually fillet the meat out. That's what they use in the sushi restaurants, where all the fat content is. So we'll go ahead and start. Main thing, glove. Some people, like the old timers, Tim Green, they don't use gloves. I like to use gloves. This one here, it's got a mesh in it so you don't cut yourself, but you can poke yourself. Nice sharp knife, always important. When you want to start on these fish, right up here, you can kind of feel where his top of his gill, it's hard, it gets soft. You want to carve in at an angle. Don't go straight down, you're going to miss meat. Hold your knife towards you, go right back in there, cut down behind the fin, and get started on the outline. So you get that cut behind his head, that's the first start. Now when you outline, like I said, you're following the path of the fins. See right here? That's where you're going to make your second cut. Now you don't want to cut all the way into the backbone. You don't want to saw into the fish. Nice long strokes. All the way to the tail. Now when you get the cut started, you can actually lift the fillet up with your thumb. It gives you an idea of what you can see. You can see what's going on in there. As you can take a look, get all the way down to the backbone back there. I like to flip them around, situate them differently. Same thing, start here, get your knife in there, outline them all the way down to the tail. Use your thumb, lift up the meat, can see the backbone, you can see the ribs. Go the opposite way. Fillet all the way up to the head. Cut it here. Now at this point, some guys, they actually like to cut the meat off and then flip over, do the other side. I find it a little easy. Outline one side of the fish, flip it over, outline the other side. That way you're not really, you kind of got that meat on the other side, give you something to cut on. We'll repeat the process. Find that little hard spot here, cut into the soft part of them. Down, cut his belly out right there. Same thing, gonna outline them, nice long strokes. This is where a sharp knife really comes in handy. You sit there and you start sawing at the fish, it's probably gonna end up with hamburger meat. All the way down to his tail. Cut it. Flip them. Do the same. Alright. So you got both sides outlined, ready to take the meat off the fish. Now they do have a pretty thick backbone. It's real wavy. I like to hold the fillet up and kind of just slowly pull it off and cut. And there's your sashimi.
It's your first or second time cutting it?
It's my first time. Usually I'll put these fillets off to the side, get the other piece of meat off there, and then we'll do a whole nother process on that. Now, like I was saying, a lot of the people, they don't realize there's lots of meat on these fish that can go to waste. There's the collarbones, which I'll cut out for you guys. The rib meat, which also has very, very good fat content. It's good for the sushi. And the cheek meat. Cheeks are very hard to cut out. Take a little bit of time. A lot of people request that. It definitely takes a lot of time to cut those out. This one's defrosting. Some guys like to use the carcasses, make a soup out of them, stuff like that. I've never tried it. Sounds good. Alright. Should have put this one in the microwave. He's frozen. See, all the organs are frozen here. So now you got the carcass. Now at this point, a lot of people just throw it overboard. All this meat here, you got the collar meat, the belly meat, that's all still good stuff. People put them in the smoker, some people put them in the oven, the barbecue. Very good meat. How to cut those out? Go right up in here, you got his gills. Frozen fish. You see right here, there's kind of V's in where his gill plates lift up. Just cut down there. Almost pull it up. And you want to cut along the back of the gills. There's kind of like a thin film of skin back there. Get that all cut. Flip them over, do the same thing. You kind of see here, there's that thin film of skin. Get that cut. And you should be able to pull the collar right off. Splash zone.
It's like war.
It's like war. Wear your white shirt. Alright. That's pretty much got all the meat off of that fish that you can get. We'll make a mess right there on my deck. You kind of scoop the hearts and all the other good stuff out of there. I like to split it right down the center. There you have it. That's all very edible, fat content meat there. You can scrape the scales off if you want. Put that right in the oven or in the smoker. Really good meat there. A lot of people, they just throw that stuff overboard. Want to save that stuff.
Is it ever okay to take out the organs first?
You can. It's kind of just kind of going backwards in your steps.
Yeah.
It's kind of like gilling, gutting a fish and then filleting it.
You want the
We'll
back?
feed the sea lion.
Oh, that's what you need. You need the back, right?
Alright. Now we'll move back to the fillets. Big old chunks of meat. Any fish fillets, they do have the rib bones. All right in here. That's all the thin meat and the ribs. Sport boats, people deckhands, usually cut that out. And they throw that big hunk of meat overboard. There's meat in here as well. Now when you cut this piece out, you can kind of feel the bones in there. Anytime you fillet a fish, you want to make sure you can feel whatever you're cutting. The backbone, the rib bone. Make sure you can feel it first before you start slapping away at it. Once you cut that out, flip it over. You want the skin facing up towards you. Now you can kind of see this white line right here. That's what you're going to follow. That's kind of your pattern. Take your knife. Once again, long strokes. Using your thumb to kind of lift that meat up. And that's all meat there. That's all the sushi grade fat stuff. You can see you pretty much filleted all the bones off of that piece of meat. At that point, you can go ahead and skin them. Skinning, same thing. Cut down, you can kind of feel the meat and the skin. Long strokes. And you see that's all sushi grade meat there. A lot of boats, they just throw that stuff overboard. So on top of your fillets, you got your collars and you got your sushi grade meat there. Now the easy step, skinning. Most people probably just do the whole fillet. Most boats, sport boats, usually cut them in thirds. So just cut down, rotate your knife, you can feel the skin. Once again, long strokes. And you do have to leave a skin patch if you are on a sport boat. That's why we leave all those skin on there. But if you got your own private boat, one piece of meat. Same thing, down. Long strokes. Anytime you're cutting any fish, you want to use long strokes. Another piece. And I like to flip it over. This is where the longer knife may come in handy. Less strokes. I just like the small knife, you get more control of everything. And there it is. You can make a boot out of this. And same thing with this one. You can see all the rib bones there. Kind of cut down, you can feel them. Just right on the edge of those bones. I think that's the biggest difference in some boats is they literally just throw all this stuff overboard, and that's, I mean, that's all meat there that you probably just get wasted.
Same here. Yeah. Same here.
Same thing, down, get one clean cut, feel the skin, long strokes. You start sawing into the fish, it's when you're going to start getting that hamburger effect. Skin patches have to be legally on there. For people who don't know, if you go into a sport boat, you see the deckhands, oh, why aren't they filleting it all the way? They're leaving no skin on there. Legally, you do have to leave it on there. They have to tell how big the fish is, what kind of fish it is, all that stuff. Usually when you get home, you can peel that skin right off. And I'll show you again with the rib meat. If the boat won't do it for you, you can always take it home, and now you know how to cut it off there. So like I was telling you, you can kind of see where the bones run in, skin facing up. You kind of just follow it, cut down. You can almost feel the bones as if they're like a track line. And that's the stuff that you want to discard. Skin it. There it is.
Wow.
Cut it into sashimi. Nice yellowtail. Thank you.